Yes. And I'm going to introduce the two guests right now. We'll go first with, because I want to do something different here. I'm going to go first with my guy who I do the wrestling show with. Do you still watch wrestling? The answer is yes. It better be yes. Dash, how you doing, bro?
What's good? I've swapped the purple for the red today.
I clocked.
Got the football talk going on, so often enough you'll see me with the purple background, but today it's red because I'm representing the mighty Arsenal. How you doing, guys?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. Who are indeed on top of the league as well. So I know you're flying high right now.
Yeah, the elephant is still up there. So I'm gonna see how long and if it can make it to the end. But yeah, we're top of the league right now. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed for the Arsenal and of course the other guest. Now, I can't remember the last time he was on the show, but that being said, he's been doing his own thing. He's been away from, I think, the podcast for a while now, but he's still here and he's still looking good as ever. You know what I'm saying? Beeks, how you doing, bro?
Yo, I can't remember my own intro. I think it's your boy Beeks.
There you go.
So you know when you're so rusty and that you ain't done I ain't done a podcast for I think it's nearly a year, fam. Maybe nearly a year. So yeah, man, I'm just grateful and glad that Kojo called me. He's like, look, listen, jump on in it, and I was like, do you know what? I might as well in it. So I just thought, yeah, I'm gonna jump on and slowly get back into it, man. I'm not PC. I'm being real. I'm not gonna be PC. I'm not gonna hold back. It is what it is. If you don't like it, it is what it is. Let's just
ruthless aggression.
Ruthless aggression.
Like that.
Yeah, ruthless aggression with the attitude era. I'm ready. I've got the middle fingers. I ain't doing no PG thing. I'm not built like that. Do you get me? So let's get it cracking, man. Thanks for having me on, guys, man. I really appreciate it.
Always, man. And anyone that listens to this show by this time, at this point, if you remember the first episode, I did tell you guys it may not be the best, or you're in your best interest to tell your kids to listen, because we don't do anything calm over here. We're not, this isn't doggy land. Bow wow. We ain't doing them things here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shout out to Dog at the nursery thing. Yeah. By the way, my kids are enjoying that. We ain't doing that around here. You know what I'm saying? We're doing dropping like it's hot. When we come to give you that heat. So let's get started. Like I said, a lot of action's been happening in the Premier League this week, but I want to start with this weekend coming up. Liverpool versus Arsenal is the big game this weekend. Two teams who last year, if you said to us that next season Arsenal will be top and Liverpool will be lounging down there somewhere, you would have said, hey, yeah, you're joking, man. That's banter. But this season, Arsenal have been on red hot form. They have performed very well home and away. They've looked good. They've looked comfortable when people have expected them to stumble. The stumble hasn't happened yet. People were looking at February and saying, yeah, that's Arsenal's time. Then they said March, yeah, that's Arsenal's time. Hasn't happened yet. Whereas Liverpool, they're saying, yeah, they beat Man United 7-0. They'll come back. Lost to Bournemouth. Football is a crazy sport. Dash, your team is top of the league. Yeah. How are you feeling going to Anfield this Sunday?
As you know me, man, I'm very pragmatic when it comes to all of this stuff. Not trying to get ahead of ourselves. I tend to look at games for the game's sake. Each game will give you its own sense of feeling and whether or not you feel that you're going to go into the game and do something. Look, we've had a real poor time at Anfield, man. We ain't won there since 2012. Podolski and Santi Cazorla. So it just shows you our history at Anfield is really, really bad. Going into this game, people saying that, Liverpool's form, they're not playing well. I always believe that form doesn't really matter in certain games. Like this is a top 4, top 6 rival. I don't think the Liverpool players and the manager will be wanting us to go there and to roll them over and then obviously going towards the title. So they've got enough quality to possess in their ranks to be able to mount a good challenge, a good match. When it comes to Arsenal, what more can you say? We're going after the title right now. They have to be up for it. They're gonna have to be up for it if they want to create a more of a distance between themselves and City. They're gonna have to win these type of games, but we're going into the ninth game, nine more games left. So when you think about it, it's like each game presents a different challenge. This is yet another challenge for Arsenal to get by, because obviously if we win this game, we further the distance. Then we go into the next game, then the next game, then the next game. But against Liverpool, they've still got the likes of Mo Salah, they've got the Darwin Núñez, they've got Firmino, who scores loads of goals against Arsenal. The fans are going to be up for it as well. There's another big team that's coming to Anfield, and we all know, man, that Anfield "You Will Never Walk Alone" song will be pumping and blaring. The fans are going to be behind the team. So for those that are saying that it's going to be a cakewalk for Arsenal, you need to revise what you're thinking, because I still believe Liverpool will still have a big team mentality towards that game. Maybe the likes of Brighton have gone there and other smaller teams. Liverpool have not really taken them serious, but any big team that goes there, look, they just beat Man United 7-0 at home. City went there also, never won. So who like, there's no divine right for Arsenal to go there despite the form that they're in and being top of the table. So Arsenal's attitude and mentality has to be like, look, we have to go there and do like a professional job, not just think, Liverpool are not doing well. It's just going to be a cakewalk. Nah, it's going to be a tough game. And that's a challenge. It's yet another challenge in it, because we're hearing for the likes of Gary Neville saying like, if Arsenal beats Liverpool, then for sure it looks like it will be more of a case that the Arsenal's going to win the league. Well, we've been going through all of that in it. If we don't beat Tottenham, then we're not going to win the league. If we don't beat this team, if we don't go away to this team. So it's yet another challenge. And I'm looking forward to the game. These are the games that you look forward to when you're looking at the fixtures at the beginning of the season. These are the games that you look forward to and you're like, yes, Anfield away. If I could have got a ticket, I would have been there. But bring on Sunday, man, and let's see what we can do.
Absolutely. Beeks, he did mention two things that did spark my interest. The fact that sometimes these kind of games, form does go out of the window because some teams turn up for a bit more games than others. And number two, obviously, the much devastating loss that Man United suffered there. But I want to present this question to you, because Man United also went there as a team in form and obviously came back away with a very humbling loss. But is there anything Arsenal can learn from that game? Because in my opinion, Man United were the better side in the first half, and then let the game, or rather the occasion, play the occasion rather than the game itself. If Arsenal were to fall into that trap, or in fact, let me just ask the question: what would be the best advice for Arteta going into this game to give the players, considering that Liverpool have done this to many teams before in the past?
Yeah, obviously, when we spoke about it off camera, what I'd say is, again, when we're talking about form and whatnot, especially at Anfield, it's completely different. I remember on the WhatsApp group, everyone was so confident that United was going to beat Liverpool. And I just even I was confident, but there was just a little thing, like, just telling me, like, just take it easy. Even if you get a draw, just be happy with it. But don't go there 100% thinking you're going to win. And it is the occasion, bro. It like that Manchester United versus Liverpool is one of the biggest games in the league, right? The players know it, the managers know it. And what I would say, what went wrong, Ten Hag was naive. Okay?
Right.
What Arteta needs to do is not be naive, number one. Don't ever be naive. You beat them at Emirates during this season. That was great. They came to the Emirates. They thought they were gonna, flex their muscles and whatnot. And Arsenal said, "Nah, we're not doing that. We're different this season." And we could see that change from the back end of last season. Arsenal were just playing well, and they've just carried on that momentum from the last season to this season, and that's why they're at the top of the league. So what I would say is, yes, maybe if you can quiet that crowd down and just play your normal game, I actually think Arsenal can actually do something here, because again, they have the momentum, they're top of the league, they're 8 points clear at the moment. When they go into that game at Anfield, whether they'll be 8 points or 5 points, I don't know who's playing before. I don't know if
City's playing before.
And who's City playing this weekend?
Southampton away.
Okay. Yeah.
That even City don't really, when they go to Southampton, they don't really do well over there. History tells you. You understand what I'm saying? So I think Arsenal don't even bother thinking about City. Just focus on your own game. Don't be naive. Learn from what Man United's mistake, because United conceded 6 goals in the second half. Bro, that's wild. I can't see Arsenal doing that. And I'll be real with you. What I will say is that you, man, really need to just take it back, because, like you said, Dash, Anfield, the atmosphere is humbling. It changes the game. When they say that's their 12th man, that is their 12th man, right?
100%.
But you, man, just have to go and play your game, play the way you normally play, cause a bit of disruption. You know who you can attack. You know who's a weakness. If they play the likes of Van Dijk, who hasn't been on form, I don't think he played during the week. If they play the likes of Trent, you know who to get at. You know who to get at. Their savior this season has been Alisson. Okay, you guys know what to do. Just go there, play your game, and I'm pretty sure even if you get a point at Anfield, it's a huge point. It's a huge point, because I tell you what, when you go to these big games, these big occasions, the big teams, when you go and take a point there, and you're in this title race,
It's
it
galvanizing.
goes a
Means a lot.
way.
It does mean a lot, yeah.
Do you know what?
Look,
Do you know what?
we've been in the title race for so many times. I know this. We've seen it. Even you, man, have been in the title race for but it's just been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a
and
long
it's
time.
with a different crop of players who are young, they're hungry. You've got experienced players who have actually won the league in the likes of Zinchenko, Jesus. Arteta's not a stupid man. I think the stupid person in the whole thing was Pep saying, "Yeah, go on, G, like, yeah, I'll boss you, bro." Like,
We don't need you.
actually thinking that they'll just get top 4. Like, no, I'll boss you. Like, do you know what? The Champions League, in it, yeah. All right, see, listen, I know it. Only to look and say, "Hey, hold on." I never told. He called out. But Pep called out and said, "Yo, I told you." He said it in Spanish. I told you, boy. Just top 4. What's all this league thing? Arteta looked off the phone. He WhatsApped him and he said, "I'm coming for you." That's what he said. Booker T style.
Do you know?
Man.
Do you know what the good point that you mentioned? Yeah, the naivety. And if we remember back, I think it was last season. Was it last season? Well, one of the games anyway. And there was a bit of a fracas on the sidelines between Arteta and Klopp. And then basically that just galvanized Anfield. And it just, after Anfield started rocking, we were just
done.
Ever since then, that's why he's blaring out the speakers with "You Will Never Walk Alone" at training.
Remember, the documentary, bro. People were laughing at that. I looked at that and I thought, do you know what? I've got to rate him, because that's
he understands.
He understands. He's played in the game. He knows what it takes to win. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. He has, as a manager, hasn't won at Anfield, so he's thinking, bro, I need to shift this block in order to get over this hurdle. And what a way it would be, what a time it would be to get over that by getting them 3 points or even a point. Trust me, Arteta will be on his knees in that dressing room crying, because it means a lot, bro, at Anfield as well. I don't know what it is. I think it's the Everton days and whatnot. I think that's what really upsets him. But he needs this, bro.
He fully understands what it takes. And, you know, like even myself as an Arsenal fan, I was like, what are you doing? Trying to play all this, the speakers at training. Yeah. But just think about the thought process behind what he's actually, the message, basically. What he's saying is that when you go to Anfield, this is the hostility. This is how hostile it is there playing. And especially with the young players that he's got, you know, so a lot of the young players have not experienced Anfield. Like, he wouldn't play that for the experienced man, the guys that have been there season in, season out at Anfield. But he's saying, like, if you've never been Anfield, this is what they sing. This is how loud it is there. This is how hostile it's going to be. And you don't want the crowd to be on the Liverpool side. You want to silence the crowd. And look, it is going to be a big game. Regardless if this was Liverpool, it could have been Leeds, it could have been a Southampton, whatever. Our games now mean everything. Game by game are cup finals. But this game in particular, going to Anfield, everybody's going to have to be on job. Everybody's going to have to be on job. Now, the good thing that I've liked about Arsenal this season is the never say die attitude.
How many late goals have you guys scored? Like, it's crazy. Like,
we scored quite a few late goals, but it's not just the late goals. It's just like how we've been pushing in every game to the end. So
never
there's
giving up.
certain games where you could be down or things are not going well, and then by the 70th minute, 80th minute, you're already like, oh, we're gonna lose. We're playing right down to the 96th minute, and a lot of the times people used to get onto like the Man United of back in the Fergie time. Well, the Fergie time only worked is because they were playing to the end of the time. If you keep a sustained amount of pressure right to the end, something is bound to fall your way. You know what I'm saying? Something is bound to a scrappy goal or a shot from the edge of the box and it hits the bar, then hits the keeper. These things, sometimes you've got to make your own luck. Don't wait for the opportunities. Make your luck. And this is what I've loved about Arsenal this season, especially away from home. Obviously, we've seen some wins at home on a late one as well. But yeah, man, I'm excited. If you was to ask me if I'm confident, it's a tricky one because I just know the record that we have at Anfield. But I'm excited for the prospect of winning because it's just going to be another game towards the title. So we shall
dare I
see.
say, with Mikel Arteta, and it's something that I feel like he does that I like, that a lot of former players turn managers, I feel like a lot of them do not do, and that's why sometimes they fail. Is he joined Arsenal 2011 to 2016, and he won the FA Cup twice. I think it was Hull and what was the other final? Villa. Yeah, Villa. Right. But in that, it was a weird time for Arsenal because yes, he had two FA Cups in there, but league form, European form was very, very up and down. Some devastating losses, some incredible wins. Sometimes I remember the year might have been the year that City won the league with the Aguero goal. He scored a goal at the Emirates.
Yeah,
that beat Arsenal. That beat Man City 1-0. If I remember, it was a long range strike, right? So he's had these good moments and bad moments. But what I feel like he has really noticed was mentality and the players that maybe let down the side at the time, and he really recognized what it was that was blocking them. He hasn't allowed that to seep into this team. Saliba's very young. If I'm being honest, this is what Gabriel's first title race. It's not Zinchenko's. But Zinchenko. It's not Zinchenko's. You're right.
It's everyone barring Zinchenko and Jesus.
Yeah, essentially, yes, exactly. And obviously, as Beeks said, Arteta's not going to let you get any players ever again. But the point being, you've brought in two players that have been part of title races and know what it means to be part of that and challenge for that, and they've played a major part for their previous side, right? These guys, along with the other players, there's now a thing where you can say, look, these guys have been part of this, learn from them, but also I want to teach you what it means to play for the badge, but also what it means to also manage moments and manage games successfully, so you can get out of potentially awkward situations where so much so that if a Saliba's not fit this weekend and Rob Holding's in, fine. The fans might not have the same confidence that they have in this pairing, but I'm going to teach you how to get into a zone and work out. Because Rob Holding, we all would have forgiven Arteta if after that sending off at Tottenham a year or two ago, he would have said, "Hey, done." But he sort of fed him back in. He knows his role, and when he's played, he's done his job this season. I think Arteta's done a very good job in managing the side mentally, on top of getting them in form and physically and everything stuff. The mental side of the game is so difficult. And Arsenal have not been part of a title race since, when was the Ramsey year?
No, so 20...
Are you going to include the Leicester one?
No, because Leicester were clear of. Even I know the banter Tottenham, but Tottenham were never close. Tottenham were never close. They were already close. I know the jokes, but they were never close. It was not happening.
I think it was 06.
No, it can't have been that far back.
When was the Ramsey year? When Ramsey was hitting goals for Bants? 2012 or 2013?
Yeah. It was in and around that. Yeah, that was towards our FA Cup. So that was the.
They weren't in the.
No, we weren't in the title race there, but it was. We obviously, in terms of the team, we had a really good team at that particular time, but just FA Cup.
If we're talking title race, when did Eduardo break his leg?
Oh,
yeah.
2007?
No,
yeah, that's probably the last time, because it was literally when Eduardo broke his leg and there was capitulation from us. So probably that, if I'm not mistaken. But just to quickly touch on, because you made a very good point in terms of the mentality aspect of Arteta. When Arteta's getting rid of a load of players and he's convincing the board that, look, certain these players, we can't sell them on. You know, your Mustafis, your what's the... It's basically Mustafi's, your Aubameyangs, the Lacazettes of the world and all that kind of stuff, and then he's asking the board, like, listen, we got to get rid of these guys. Either we get a little bit of change for them or you just let them go for free. But what I do want from my team is the mentality. This is why you're seeing the likes of Rob Holding, who can get into the team and still continue on, because the mentality of the players that are there now, the Arteta players, it filters onto the players that are willing to be on board. Like, Arteta's not afraid to show you, like, if you are not down for the cause, then you have to go. Guendouzi, Torreira, these are players where they showed glimpses of, like, this is young talent and stuff like that, but the mentality weren't there. Tavares, who's gone to Marseille, looked a bit of a talent, someone that you maybe think, okay, in time it'll work with, but the mentality weren't there. Go to France, even with Saliba, as much as we're seeing the talent now, but Arteta's looking and thinking, I love the quality, I see the quality, but the mentality that I need you to come back with, I need you to come back with that hunger. I will need you to come knowing that you are now going to be the first teamer. You're not just coming here from Saint Etienne as a young buck I need you ready when you get here. So a load of the times, it is the mentality aspect. And with that, it's shown that these players are ready to just give everything to Arteta in 96 minutes or whatever, right to the end. And that's what I've been loving from this season. And obviously we saw glimpses of that in the documentary and how they responded to Arteta. And it's just filtered onto the new season.
Well, we're gonna see just how good Arsenal are. And I mean, look, I don't want to give any. We'll get into that later on, the prediction side of things, and what you think. We'll give some score predictions later on. But knowing how we got dealt with at Anfield, I just don't want to give any predictions out. But I did make the point on this podcast. I would predict a Man United win on that day, which I did. But I also said there's been times where we had the ultra dominant Man United on the side of Ferguson, and I do remember going to Anfield and being tucked away by David Ngo. So, it's football is football.
Football is football. It's a humbling experience when you think to yourself that you're able to do something, and then you go to a ground. Many a times I felt like, yeah, man, we should beat Spurs. Go away, you end up losing. It's just sometimes it's just each house has their way of dealing with you. Each house has their way of dealing with you, like, and you go there and you just crumble, and you just like,
that man dealt with us proper. They slapped us up. They got
come away from that. Say that, Beeks.
They dealt with us proper. Them Liverpool guys, the broom and the belt, and they said, you're gonna learn today. I felt it, man. I felt it. I'm not lying to you, bro. I felt it. I've only just recovered now. Yeah, but I felt it, man. I felt it. I wish you guys all the best. As much as I hate you guys.
Listen, you see that, even that comment alone, you know how I've been dealing with it. I'm like, thank you. I need any type of positivity in this universe, even if it's sarcasm, whatever. I'm taking it on board.
Of course.
Yeah,
but
man,
I'll you know what, you've come across as a really subtle fan, and I respect you people. Even my brother, he's very subtle and whatnot. It's the type of fans I'm coming for. I will be there. If you don't win this league, I will be there. I'll be at Emirates there, and
there are many fans like me out there, but this social media place,
I don't think
it magnifies the bad ones.
I don't think so.
I've grown
up with them. I've grown up with all of you guys. I've never come across someone like you. So that's why I appreciate this. And I'm just saying it now. I'm just saying it live and direct. If you do win, you won't see me. If you don't win this league, you will see me. You will see, not you in particular, but I'm just Just this is the attention for Arsenal fans. If you don't win,
Yeah, listen, you won't be able to differentiate or split hairs in between the Arsenal fans that are pragmatic and the ones that are just outright out there. But
that's you
you
don't
know,
think so? Oh, I've gone with them. I know.
yeah,
I can
it's
spot them
gonna.
from a mile away. I knew the moment you came on, you were a good lad. I knew that. I can see that. I can see that, and that's what I love. I like that. You know, I like that. And once, if I can sense, just sniff that it's going to be a problem, I would never have told you good luck. I'm being serious. That good luck comes
I
from
hear
the heart.
that. I
So
appreciate it.
you understand what I'm saying? My team, Man United, we're just there. You know, we're just taking it easy.
We're,
Is
just
what
there.
it is.
We're literally just there.
there.
And if we're gonna have a nice segue, Man United are there in the top four battle, a top four battle that they thought they would not be dragged into. But the form has been very differentiated, just not been as consistent as they thought it would be. As we have obviously mentioned, have been some devastating losses, but also some draws. And I always say this. I made this point in particular to a Liverpool fan the year that they lost, the first year they lost the league by a point. It's the draws that hit you the most. If you draw too much, the teams that you don't see creeping on you will creep on you. And out of nowhere, suddenly you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, I'm back here again. Man United are in the top four race. They are level on points with Newcastle right now. Newcastle have a much more superior goal difference. Man United's goal difference is +5. Newcastle was +26.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tottenham, who both clubs do have a game in hand on, they are 3 points behind. So if they both win, the 6 points is more of a comfortable gap for them. However, they also have a much more positive goal difference of 12. And I am going to mention this side because I do firmly believe in my heart of hearts that they might creep into the top 4 and you will see it coming. Is Brighton. Brighton have played 27 games. They have a goal difference of +17. They have 2 games in hand on Spurs. They win both. Spurs are no longer looking at that top 4 as much as they thought they would be. But also, Manchester United and Newcastle have the Seagulls on their back. Beeks, how confident are you that United are making this top 4 in this current moment in time?
I'm 95% sure that we'll get top 4.
Okay.
And the 5% is, I'll tell you what the 5% consists of, the doubt that creeps in. Obviously, the games that we have, cup competition, people say, yeah, but, if you want to win all, you got to go for it all. And that's great in that. But do we have the squad to do that? Do you understand? That's where the difficulty lies in. And I respect Ten Hag. I think Ten Hag has come into this side, changed everything. I haven't really been able to speak out on it. This is my first time speaking out on this is the first time I'm speaking on how I feel that Ten Hag has done for United. I think he's done a great job in his first season to get. This is people need to understand. This is the same side that finished. Where did we finish last season? Was it 6th, 7th? Something along.
Might be 5th or 6th. Yeah.
I'd be surprised if it was even that. I don't even think it was 5th or 6th. I think it was definitely 7th. I need to take that up. But to get this side back together, considering the fact that we lost 4-0 at the beginning of the season and we lost to Brighton as well, to get it, up and running again, dealing with the Ronaldo situation, and just put in this mentality of go out there and play your best and just never give up. I like that. And obviously we've been hit as well with in terms of losing to Liverpool, that humbling defeat, which has kind of dragged our morale down just a tad. I'm not going to say it's been mad, but we ended up winning during the week against the likes of Brentford, who we did lose 4-0 at the beginning of the season. Now, for me, like I said, where that doubt creeps in is are we going to be able to sustain this level of trying to go for top 4, trying to win the Europa League, trying to win the FA Cup? Can we do that? I'm gonna be real as I can be. I don't think we can. Okay. A lot of people will turn around and say, but you're a United fan. You got to look at it from a perspective of a footballing fan. If Arsenal were going through the same motion, I would say the exact same thing. So why can't I say, as a United fan, that I don't believe that's going to happen? I've just got to be real. So for Ten Hag, I actually believe is either he focuses on one or the other. Okay. I would love to win the FA Cup, the Europa League, and to make sure we get top 4. Is that realistic? I don't think so. But I do believe that we'll get into the Champions League next season is how we do it. I would rather just do it with the league. I think the cup competition there, yes, there's a high percentage that United can go and win that, but it's a gamble. What do you want to do? How many games have we got in the league? We still got games in hand. Who else do we have to play? We've played the likes of Arsenal twice. We lost, we beat them. We've played City. We lost, we beat them. We've played Liverpool, we lost, we beat them. You can see what I'm going through. We've beaten the big teams. However, them other teams there that have beaten us and we've got draws, we still need to make sure we recuperate them points. And I believe we can. Coming to OT is very difficult at this point this season. Many teams have tried and they've failed. And that's one thing I have to give props to Ten Hag. He knows how to manage. He knows when he has to take a player off because something's not working. It didn't work for some times that we've lost, but the fact that he tries and he, wants to give it a go is what makes me happy. We haven't had that with a manager for a very, very long time.
Yeah,
very long time. I'm talking the likes of Ollie, who would just, if Ollie would do this, you man, just go have fun. Yay, bro! I'm not lying. Then,
no, you're telling the truth. You're telling the stone cold truth right now.
Everyone would be like, oh, come on, this is great. And everyone's scoring for fun. That's great. But then at the back, we're leaking fuckloads of goals. we're getting battered here, fam. So, it's about bringing control into the game. And that's what Ten Hag's done. I do believe we'll get top 4. I just believe we'll miss out on one of the trophies at the end of the season. We've got a trophy. Ten Hag can, put his hand up and go, I got you a trophy. Let's kick on next season. Do you understand what I'm saying? Putting so much pressure on his first debut season. I mean, everyone was saying we're going for the league. Everyone was forcing that. You're going for the league. You're going for the league. Were we in the title race at one point? Of course we were. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and go,
you think so?
Never win. Bro, we were. Let's be real. At a point, we were like, I think 2 or 3 points behind Arsenal. We were leveled on
Crystal Palace game. Is the Crystal Palace game.
Bro,
win that.
It wasn't even that Crystal Palace game. No, it wasn't even that Crystal Palace game. It was the Leeds game, bro. The Leeds game and then the Crystal Palace right after it.
Okay.
Imagine now, when we're talking about mentality and how the game could change, if United had won, it's always if buts and maybes, but if United had won against Leeds and Palace, where would we be right now? Do you understand what I'm saying? A lot can change in that moment, but we didn't do it. And that's what fucked up our base. And that's why we are now dragged into this top 4 race, bro. We only picked up, that's our first win since we've won the League Cup, bro.
First win and first goal.
And first goal. That's crazy, bro. That's a mind-blowing. All them losses, draws in between, it's not good. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's why I'm saying something has to be sacrificed in order to get that top 4. And I'm telling you now, the objective is to get United back into the Champions League. He's going to have to look at that and think, what am I going to do here? But if it means that, I'm not saying that he's obviously looking at that, but if it means that he can go on and win the Europa League and FA Cup and get top 4, kudos to him. Do you understand? He's had a fantastic first season. For me, in my eyes, he's had a great season anyway. Do you understand what I'm saying? But something will have to give. I'm being deadly real. I can't lie to you guys. I know you United fans want to hear something different, but bro, I don't know what you think, Kojo. I like to, see your point, but that's the way I'm seeing it from that perspective. Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow. I know.
No, it is. I went into the season with no expectations. So when people were saying title race, I never looked at it. I was just like, cool.
But you didn't have that expectation. But during the season, you're seeing the gap. The gap that's what I'm saying. I never went into the season thinking we're going to win the league or go challenge. But at one point, when you're seeing that, you're thinking, all right, cool, we're in it. You lose them games, you're out. Simple.
That's a fair point.
It's as real as it gets.
That's a fair point. I think for me, the issue was maybe it's because I sort of still lack faith in a lot of the players that even though we were that close, I didn't look at that and say, because I a lot of people asking me, are we in a title race? And I was saying to them, I don't think so. Even though the gap, you said the gap was 2-3 points, so that sounds stupid to say, but at that time I was just like, I don't think so, because there's still a lack of faith in there for me to be like, yeah, we're in the title race. Because for me, when I say that, I'm saying that I trust these guys to keep going with Arsenal and Man City. That's what I'm saying there right there in the statement for me. So I couldn't say that. However, you did make a fair point. And those games, and that's why I asked the question about the confidence, because Leeds and Crystal Palace, it's not to say that they are very much unworthy of getting points off of Man United or anyone else that's challenging for the title. But these are the games, as Dash said, you should be winning. And
absolutely,
it is such a big statement, because essentially, if you're going to try and win for the title, every game, you have to try and win. You have to aim to win every game. But there's always a statistic where there's a club that's challenging for the top 4 that somehow wins their home games, but when it comes to away games, they struggle to beat the teams that are like 13th and above. And what is that issue? Why are they struggling to do that? Is it because these teams are just as competitive as them? Because I could argue that obviously they beat Brentford 1-0, but it wasn't comfortable. Brentford have been good this season. Brentford deserve to be where they are. And Brentford are potentially, if the Conference League qualification comes down to a league position, then they could potentially finish 7th, and they could probably potentially get into that competition, and we look at them as a European side. Similar to what Burnley did years ago. I'm sure that's when they had one stellar year, and they're going to the qualifiers for the Europa League. So, that's where, my doubt is with this club, because Ten Hag has done a good job. I feel at times he has made himself trip over a couple of times.
True.
But overall, he's done a good job with the players that he's got. Again, I will say this. I am also still very wary. He hasn't got 100% of my trust. It's not that I don't think he's done a good job. I will reiterate for the listeners, I think he's done a great job this season, but we have been here before under a manager with a bigger reputation, and a manager who, I'm not going to call him a manager, man. He was a cheerleader. But the point being, I'm not saying he's them. And, I'm hoping that he does get the right back in to build his team and continue to build his squad, get his football going. Because you can see in the dots in there, even to the point where, for example, I used to be saying that in the past, McTominay would just goes from his position, drift out of right, you wouldn't be able to see him in the midfield. So him and Fred suddenly go from here to here. Whereas I watched not much of Ten Hag's Ajax, and I'm obviously watching a lot more Ten Hag's Man United as they are my club. But if there's anything I can grab as similarities, is he like this. Eventually, when the team's pushing forward and trying to win the ball a lot more further forward, you have 5-6 players sort of in line with the forward players, and one of the attacking midfielders. Then you got 3 over here, sort of protection for the one centre back, and then you got your goalkeeper doing his thing. So you can see he's starting to do the dots there. So now when I see McTominay start to drift out wide, or maybe go a bit more forward, I'm not getting mad at him anymore, because maybe that's instruction. But look, I do agree with that. In terms of my confidence for the top 4, I still think we will make it just about. And the reason I say that now, the reason why I asked about the other clubs, which I'll come to you, Dash. Newcastle have found their form again. I was saying a couple of weeks ago that until they had beaten, what's their name? Wolverhampton Wanderers at home, they had won 1 out of their last 8. So that win has made it 2 out of their last 9. But since then, they've got more wins, and they had a devastating win at West Ham, a 5-1 humbling for West Ham.
A beatdown.
A proper beatdown. Look at the beatdown that Brock Lesnar gave almost.
That's terrible, so bad.
Bro. And but Tottenham, I said Brighton, and we'll get to Brighton later. There's a reason I mentioned them, but we'll get to them later. Tottenham. Now, I don't know what it is with this club, right? Maybe you can give me more insight as their neighbor. Even when they are having a season where you just think, Tottenham are being Tottenham again, for some reason, the clubs above or below them trying to challenge for the top 4 can't shake them off. Because if you're talking about Tottenham this season and the way that their fans have been fuming about how they're performing, they shouldn't be part of this race. It shouldn't even be close. But for some reason, Harry Kane is
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Go on. Elaborate for me. Please.
Listen, this is prime example of when you have an equalizer. Yeah, when you have an equalizer in your team, it affords you to be able to have the opportunities to be able to compete for the position that you're in. Now, I liken this to the time when we had Van Persie. Although we wasn't doing so well, Van Persie still comes up with a goal, still scores goals. Sanchez still comes up with the goods. When you've got someone that can still score goals, then you have every opportunity to those games that might be 0-0, they become 1-0. Those games are like 2-1, those close games basically, and you end up getting those wins. Now, add that with the fact that teams around you are not playing well, then you're doing what Edge does, the master of opportunistic ways. Yeah, you're going to cash it in.
Before I let you
continue, regardless.
Before I let you continue, Edge won championships. Continue. Anyway.
barring the championship. No, in all seriousness, that's literally what it is. You know, without Kane, let's just keep it real. Without Kane, Tottenham will be languishing. Yeah, they will be languishing because they're not great defensively. Midfield is not great. And the other strikers and forwards, they're not doing anything. So who is keeping Spurs afloat? It is Kane. So they're going to have a massive issue next season if Kane decides to leave. But at the same time, as much as you've mentioned, a load of Tottenham fans would be upset, and rightfully so, because, you know, they want to be competing, they want to be challenging and stuff like that. They are not doing great. You know, they're not doing great. They're out of all the competitions in regards to any type of silverware. And now they're just competing for the top four. Now, the question is, what is Spurs' level? What is Spurs' level? Are they contenders, or are they exactly where they are and where they need to be? And just literally
sorry to interrupt. Are you asking for this season or for like future purposes?
No, I'm asking for in general, because it's always
for you before
not just
you. Where do you think
it runs? I run a risk.
No. Forget your Arsenal bias. Where do you think, as a football fan,
For me personally, let's take this away.
Take that away.
I believe Tottenham are where they're supposed to be.
Well, I'll shake your hand right now if I could.
Yeah, no. I'll be real. They're not in a position to challenge, and they're not in a position to be winning trophies and stuff like that. Their team and everything around their team is a mess, and a lot of the stuff that they're going through right now is very similar to what we experience at Arsenal. You know, moving into the new stadium, trying to balance between making the club more commercially viable at the same time to keep the on-pitch stuff going. But in our way, we had to keep selling our best talents. Daniel Levy has found a way that commercially he can bring the NFL, he can bring F1, he can bring concerts and stuff like that. But there's always going to be a give and take. And there's going to be a sustained period of time where they need to understand where they are in terms of the pecking order. So, you know, as much as the Tottenham fans will be like, oh, we need to be winning trophies, we need to be like this, you just don't have it right now. You don't have the minerals, you don't have the players, you don't have the manager. Everything is not aligned. But and I've said this to a load of Tottenham fans. I said, you know, you're making the yard shiny on the outside, but inside you're sleeping on a mattress. You don't have no curtains. You got the bed.
They don't even sleep on a mattress. It's dusty. Sleep on the floor.
You got the bed sheets.
They use what's it called, carrier bags.
Yeah.
That's what they use.
You got the bed sheets on the windows for curtains. You know what I mean? But it is the history of the Tottenham. You know, like we know we banter about that, but you got someone from Juventus who's not even in the Premier League, and he's telling you, like, from the outside looking in, this is your history. It's mad that way, innit? And then the crazy thing is, I don't think the last time I've ever seen a manager of his own team literally dissing the team that he's at, drop the mic and bounce. I
It
don't
was
think I've
needed
ever
though.
seen that.
It was needed though. It
It
was
was
needed.
needed, but come on, man. We've all been in bad situations. All our clubs, Man United,
Yeah.
Arsenal, Liverpool. You know, I remember even one time, Benitez. He was also very disgruntled
Vocal.
with, you know,
Yeah.
very vocal, but he was just vocal in terms of like just wanting to compete. Conte dissed everything. He aired out everything. He went at the owners' necks. He went at the players. He went at just the whole thing. It's just like, look, I'm not here to do project management. I'm here to win. What did you bring me here for? You know what I'm saying? So once again, if I say this wearing this top here, people just be like, it's just an Arsenal fan trying to diss. I'm talking strictly as a footballing man because I believe like Tottenham, to be fair, and this is coming from me as an Arsenal fan, if they added 3-4 good players, they could be pushing towards, you know, a trophy or something like that. But they don't have that quality. They don't have the players, and the backing of the squad is not there. So exactly where they are is where they need to be. You know,
I just want to chime. I just
Sorry.
want to quickly chime in on that. Yeah, quickly.
Go on.
I'm gonna quickly round it up and make it easy because what Dash has just done has been exceptional. That was great form, and I'm just gonna clean it. What I'm gonna do. I've got the polish here. I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna ask 2 questions. Okay, number 1, before Kane, where were Tottenham?
they were definitely not a team that was being spoken of any type of credential.
I guess they after they lost Bale and they had that weird stupid transfer window, they lost themselves and then Kane came and became a savior again, right?
Yeah,
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's clean. Nice. Okay, so if we take Kane out of this side now, which Dash has already explained, obviously Dash said they're where they are. They're supposed to be where they are now, and that was with Kane. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Take
That's
Kane
with
out of
Kane,
this
yeah.
side. Take Kane out of this side. Where do you see them?
Oh, you see where Chelsea are right now in 11th? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to round it off as well, it's a sad to see the likes of Son not being able to rediscover the form that we thought. If a Kane does leave, Son is the next person that you can build on. And
they got the likes of Richarlison, who's got no league goals this season, and
R9.
That's who they can be building around. Let's just hope and pray for them. I just feel like they're a top 10 side. Once Kane goes, it's game over. This is what they are worried about, and they should continue to be worrying about that, especially next season. Can I see Kane there next season? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm telling you right now.
Me personally, I'm going to say this because I've been waiting for this day to come. I'm not even a Tottenham fan. I'm not even close. When people, Cahill, you say I'm a Tottenham fan on this show because I would give them praise. Yes, I gave them praise because they gave me Carrick and Berbatov. So I nice you a little bit. That's cute. Thank you very much. You know what I'm saying? You gave me your gifts. Now get out of here. You know what I'm saying? But the point being, yeah, and hopefully give me Kane next as well. That's heritage. You know what I'm saying? But the point being for me is, the reason why I keep reiterating to their fans that what Conte said was needed, and regardless of what they think about his football and everything else, the reason why it's needed, and they need to stop, they need to get out of this trap of, but you're the manager, you can't do this, is, as football fans, like you said, Dash, we've all been in terrible situations, right? But in Arsenal's worst situation, they won accolades. In Man United's worst situation, they won accolades. And the reason why is because, I will say this. I'm not going to say that Spurs fans will be at peace most of the time with their club when they're making some sort of progress and stuff. They want accolades just as much as the next person, right? But they're not as, or rather, they're too comfortable with certain characters. And I said this last week, and I'm going to say it again. Harry Kane is the only one in this squad that can walk with his head held high. Son cannot. And it's not just based off this season, because that guy's inconsistent as hell. You're talking about someone that had a golden boot year last year. The previous year, when Kane was injured, he scored a couple of goals. And then Kane came back and suddenly he went ghost again. This Kane-Son partnership, by the way, is Kane finding Son. I can count on one hand how many times Son has found Kane. But anyway, it's a one-way street. Number two, as much as I like that you said there need maybe 4 or 5 players, because to be honest, yeah, I think maybe if you had 4 or 5 with better mentality as well, you can help that team propel to like a Carabao or an FA Cup.
Exactly that.
The amount of work this team needs here is crazy. And there's the reason I asked the question of why are they still lounging about? Because once they lose Kane, it's like, oh my God, what happens now? Laurie passed it. The whole defense, not even individuals, just the whole defense, wipe them away. Get them out of here. Davinson Sanchez is not better than if Phil Jones came back from injury right now. He hasn't improved. He has not improved. He's done nothing. He's done niche. And he was bought for £40 million sterling. He's done niche. The transfer fee is not his fault, but lack of improvement is his fault.
Yeah.
Midfield, apart from Bentancur and maybe Højbjerg because he performs here and there, apart from him, again,
scrap the rest. And up front, Kane done his thing. Son, a bit of a cult hero, but hey, man, again, inconsistent for me. Kulusevski had a great year last year. This season he's been injured quite a bit, so I'll nice him a little bit here. But hey, man, I'm watching you, by the way. I'm watching you. You've been found out, man.
And Lucas Moura is still living off one night in Amsterdam.
He's leaving in the summer. He's definitely going.
He better leave because he shouldn't be there. I don't know why he's still there. Why is he still there? Brian Hill got sent out on loan. He's still there. Skip has gone on loan and come back 2-3 times, and he's still there. He shouldn't be there. Get him gone. Go. Bye. See you later. So as much as I think they have potential to add 4 or 5 players, and I do actually firmly agree with that. I think they do have to add 4 or 5 much better players, especially up here, to improve the team. Because that's what Conte was talking about. Keep blaming me and the other managers. Let me tell you right now, Ben Davies was a strong bench player for Pochettino. He's come on the 80th minute. He was not touching pitch for a whole 90. He wasn't playing centre back. He wasn't playing left back for 90 minutes in the back 3 or back 4 or back 5. He was not part of the project. He was just another guy there. And now he's getting consistent minutes.
Eric Dyer as well.
Eric Dyer.
Dyer by name, Dyer by character.
Nature. Dyer wasn't even a centre back for Poch. More time he put in defensive midfield. On his debut, he scored the winning goal at Upton Park, and you're telling me that this guy's going to lead your defense? And he's leading. You know what? I even like Romero a little bit, even though he's a bit of a hothead. He's actually very much of a hothead. I do like him a little bit, though. I like aggressive defenders. I like guys that like to defend. He's passionate about it. I like that, man. That's nice. It's beautiful, right? Even him, yeah, I think he's called what I like to call Tottenham syndrome. And for his sake, if Tottenham
diagnosed as well,
if Tottenham don't, it's proper diagnosis. When we do diagnosis on here, it's like when Cahill said Arsenal signed someone and he was Wengerfied.
I'm fucking done.
That one killed you. But Wengerfied. But the point being, if Romero doesn't see this team improve in next season, you know, on Football Manager, when you're going to sign a player and they ask you, are you okay with me using this club as a stepping stone to better things? I'll do my thing here and then go. If I'm him, I'm having that conversation right now. And go to Daniel Levy and say, listen, I'm not Harry Kane. We're doing £100 million here. Yeah? Get me out of here. 50 million solid. Get me out. I'm gone. Anyway.
Yeah, listen, in conclusion, it's nothing new with Tottenham. And I'm going to repeat this. This is nothing new from Tottenham. I think for me as an Arsenal fan as well, most of the times when you're listening to podcasts and pundits and stuff like that, and how, they lift Spurs and give them all the accolades and the adjuration and all of that stuff. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, this team is not doing anything. Like, they're not winning any trophies. They come above Arsenal and it's like, okay, listen to this. When they said that the power shift has changed, that's when I knew to myself, this is just a publicity thing. How can a power shift change when a team doesn't win no trophies? Arsenal finishing above Tottenham for about 20 years straight, and then Spurs finish above Arsenal about 5 years, and then all of a sudden there's a power change. Come on, man. in our worst time, as you mentioned, Kojo, in our worst time, we still were able to win trophies. How are we able to do that? How are teams in their worst moments of their history, they're still able to win stuff? And then you got a team in their best moments of their history, they're winning nothing. Come on, man. So I'm glad to see that now that other fans...
Even Liverpool did it. Even when Klopp in his first year came and saw this squad, he said, Jesus Christ, Emre Can, this Jordan Henderson, not the one that got better.
Yeah.
Wigan won the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Against Man City.
We can't really sit here and be talking about power shift and whatnot. And, you know, I guess fans will always banter and go,
no, but Beeks, this is not just fans. This is pundits. These are Sky.
No, I think the punditry there, I think they got lost in their ways and whatnot. And I think it's evident that they obviously had an agenda against Arsenal at the time. They've always had an agenda against Arsenal. Let's be real. And that's why they were going off it. That's why they're going to say all of these things, isn't it? And more time, I can't lie to you, man. That's why when it comes to like the pre-game, or post-match, I don't even listen to Sky Sports anymore. I just watch the game and I go, all right, cool, man. I've made my mind up, man.
Yeah.
Because the propaganda that they feed out, it's just long, man. Honestly, it's long.
Awful.
And look, Spurs are not doing well. Have you seen any like negativity from?
You're not gonna see it, Beeks. You're not gonna see it. Let's be real.
They target the ones that will dominate.
Like but you know what? You know how I've taken solace with that, and I've understood the game is like it's all about relevancy.
Yeah,
your Man United's, your Arsenal, your Liverpool's, your Man City's, the teams that you're expecting. Obviously, I'm putting Arsenal because of the history of our performance throughout the Premier League and stuff like winning leagues or whatnot or trophies. Yeah. But these are teams that you're expecting to do something in the course of the season. So when they don't do something, rightfully so, they should get abused and criticized or whatever. Yeah. But when you are teams like your Tottenhams, I don't know, Everton's and all of these other table teams, you know what I mean? Like if they don't win anything, you're like, all right, cool. When they're showing any kind of promise, you're gonna boost them like the little brother that they are, innit? Oh, go on, you're doing very well. The older brother now, they're the one that are getting more like they're getting criticized the most because they're underperforming and underachieving. So we get it, man, we get it. But this season, if we're just saying all in all, like now that there's the likes of Newcastle, you're seeing Brighton, your Man United are also just pushing on. It's going to be very tough for them, man. It's going to be very tough. And now that they've installed the assistant of Conte and Ryan Mason as the duo to be the manager to try and push Spurs into that top four, it's going to be a big, big mistake, man. I feel like Daniel Levy should have pulled the trigger a long time ago, knowing full well how Conte was already saying all of these things last season, coming on live TV and dissing the team, but then you still continued on with him. So they should have made their change a long time ago, got the manager that's going to be the project manager that they need, and then move on from that. Now, whether that's going to be the Nagelsmann of the world, is it going to be Poch, going to be running back to his old girlfriend? We don't know, but these win quick microwave managers that they want, it's not going to work for them. It's not going to work for them.
Guys, so stop buying Uncle Ben's and go and buy Basmati and put it on the rice cooker and cook it properly.
Need that
Another club who is returning to a former love, for some reason, I don't know why, is Chelsea. Now, Chelsea have a beautiful, beautiful relationship with Frank Lampard as a player. Wonderful goal scoring from midfield, elite midfielder, top goal scorer of his whole club. Very rare for a midfielder. So accolades to Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard became manager of Derby. Didn't get promoted twice, but somehow got promoted himself to Chelsea. Worked out not so wonderfully there. Found his way back into the Premier League again. Guy obviously loves blue. Went to Everton. Didn't work out there. Got sacked. Now, if you told an Everton fan that Frank Lampard's next job would be Chelsea again, they would have told you, scrap the new stadium and just get us relegated because that's a lie. But in this very much April, In fact, let's put the date that it happened. 6th of April, 2023. This is a Thursday, by the way, before the bank holiday weekend. Shout out the bank holiday. Frank Lampard is back in management at Chelsea again.
This ain't no April Fool either.
Oh no. I'm Ghanaian. We don't do April Fools. We don't even know what that is. Listen, Frank Lampard's back, and I don't understand why he's back. And Jamie Carragher said that the first good, smart decision Bowley made ever at the club was letting Potter go because it was just running its course, and it should have happened some time ago. But then I feel like Jamie Carragher this weekend he's gonna take that back because Frank Lampard is in the job again as manager of Chelsea. Now, whether it's interim, whether it's part-time, whether it's temporary, whether it's contract, whether it's I don't know, whether it's cheerleading, whether it's just there to spud the people them, whether it's to see a reunion with Ashley Cole and them, man, I don't know what it is. Hey, maybe he's going to bring Frank Malouda there, give him enough minutes so he can get a testimonial at Chelsea. Who knows? The point being, he's back and I don't know why. Beeks, why is Frank Lampard back at Chelsea?
Todd B, man.
Todd Bizzle, dog.
Todd Bizzle, dog. You don't know my name, dog. Todd B. Let's be real, bro. Let's be real, innit? Yeah. I don't know what's happening over West London. I don't know what they're drinking. I don't know what's in the water. I ain't got a clue, bro.
That moonshine.
I just feel like
Moonshine.
I'll be real. I feel like Todd B has gone. What was the manager that was managing Chelsea before we got Tuchel in? One of the guys, Lampard. We got rid of him, but he's a legend, man. He's a legend. Ain't that him? That's him. They looked at the board. They said, "That's him. Bring him back, dog. I need him back.
Bring him back, dog."
That's what my man said, bro. I don't know what's happening over there, but let me be real. I'm loving it.
Oh.
Bro, how is Chelsea not even in the top 10? Bro, do you know how crazy that is? And you know what makes it even worse? They went and brought the man that couldn't even. I'm lost for words, guys. This, like these men have said, this is not April Fools, bro. Lampard is back at the bridge as a manager. Whether they want to get relegated or not, I don't know. That's their business, isn't it? Do you understand? How can a manager who managed Everton, nearly got them fucking relegated, be back at a club of this magnitude? What direction? Okay, I get it, right? I understand, yeah. We're towards the end of the season, but to get Lampard in to manage these men again, like what's going? Man, I'm moving as if Lampard is Gus Hiddink and that, bro. What is going on, bro? This isn't the way forward, guys. But if you man want to do that, by all means, G. This is the downfall that you man deserve. I'm happy that you man are going through this. We're not mother's life, yeah. Arsenal, Man United have gone through the trenches, but it ain't been this fucking bad, man. And you know what makes it even worse? The amount of money they spent. The amount of players they've got in and whatnot. They're honestly, I was reading The Athletic the other day, and my man said 2 of the players will have to change outside the changing room, bro. I said, wait, what? They were
Sunday League
things, bro. Bro, that's how much players these men have got. What's going on? And on top of that, I thought, you know what? Yeah, I shouldn't laugh in it. Yeah, when I heard that these men were calling Potter Hogwarts and them, man, they were calling
Harry.
They were calling him Harry. Oh, where's Harry? Hogwarts. Yeah,
Hogwarts. Wait. But he couldn't perform magic. Oh, life is long.
Yeah, that's you see. Do you know what? On that note, I can't even. Kojo, what you did there was that was a low blow, man. Man said he couldn't even perform magic, bro. Oh my god! What's that spell that they use? They cast in Harry Potter. I can't even. I don't even know what's bro. I just honestly, all jokes aside, I don't know what direction Chelsea's going at. I know they're in talks with Nagelsmann. I think that would be a great appointment. But it's great having a top manager there, but it's about backing them as well. All the signings that Chelsea made were not Potter signings. None of them were Potter signings. Potter didn't have the ability or the opportunity to say, I want this player, I want that player. They just, Todd D said, you're going to get what you're given, man. Just run with
Shut your mouth, dog. I'm gonna run this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Dog, you don't know me like that, man. Just shut it, man. Just take what I'm giving to you. And if you can't run with that, your ass is on the line. That's what he basically said to Potter, and that was it. History.
All right. This was Frank Lampard, yeah, when he come in for the press conference.
God.
Hey,
bro.
Right. First question. He was grinning.
He couldn't believe it.
He
couldn't believe it. He could not believe
the extra
it.
follicles as well that he got, man, because he's been thinning a little bit. I think he went turkey quickly.
Quick turkey thing. He went to the man in Turkey. I lined me up quick.
Couple strands, man. Now listen, it is a joke, but you know the reason why they're not going to get any abuse or anything like that? It's just the fact that they've got so much money. So like they can
that's
afford.
Not fair, Dash.
It isn't fair. It isn't fair. But life.
I say that. I'll tell you why it's not fair. That is like United going back and getting Oli.
Yeah.
I know, but listen, Beeks. Let's
not even say that before. You know what I mean? Sorry, Dash.
But listen, you see, life. It isn't fair. There's certain things that rich men get away with, wearing sometimes they wear disgusting clothes, these space boots, all these kind of different garms, and you're like, bro, that's dead swag, dead drip. But you're telling it costs about £10,000 that I'm wearing right now, and then you just sit there, and you'd be like, all right, cool. You hold your hands up. Chelsea can afford to make mistakes because they've got the money to do it. They can sack a manager that they gave a 6-year contract to and pay him off easily. They can bring in a Frank Lampard easily. Because the next season, all they're just going to do is just throw money at the project again. And we're just going to sit here and just be like, cool. The thing about it is absolutely disgusting what is happening with Chelsea. And they are getting away with it just because they got money. Now, we then think about the whole situation about competition. Like, how fair is competition when it gets like this, where man could just be throwing 300 million at their club, and then it doesn't work. The next season, another 200 million. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? It's ridiculous. But for what Frank Lampard has got to do with this club in these next 10 games, he still has the opportunity to win the Champions League. Yeah, and if he gets that, it's just like, how as a man that almost getting Everton relegated has the opportunity to go to this is why if I'm Sol Campbell, and these other black managers as well, I'm screwing. I'm just sitting there and thinking to myself, how is it that these men just get these opportunities? I'm not trying to make it a racial thing, but I'm just saying, like, look, man, like, how is someone like Frank Lampard still getting these opportunities? What has he done in the game that allows him to be able to get these opportunities? It's absolutely mad and it's crazy. And the thing about it, to not really hear Chelsea fans really in an uproar about this just shows you just where they're at, because they just know 10 games, then we're going to go for an Enrique or a Nagelsmann or someone like that. So they're not bothered because they know that money will be thrown at their club to fix their problems. Or if it doesn't fix the problems, it just covers the cracks and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Boy, well, let's see what happens. I mean, if you told me last year that João Felix would be managed by Frank Lampard, I would have told you, listen, tell João Felix to do everything to stay in Spain, or even just go back to Portugal, man. But don't come back to this.
Even Felix with Potter. Even
Felix with Potter. On Graham Potter, very quickly, because I don't think we've addressed his sacking on this pod. I'm not going to say was it the right or wrong decision, because obviously that just wasn't working. But just on him as an individual, considering the job that De Zerbi's doing at Brighton, would it be fair to say that maybe Potter was not as special as he was being touted to be in the future, or considering how Todd B is doing things at Chelsea, was he just fighting a losing battle? Considering that whoever the manager is, you ain't gonna have much control over who actually comes in to help you, build a philosophy. Anyone can go for that one.
Potter be fine, man. He'll be fine after this.
Yeah,
I think everybody recognizes the work
quality
and the type of job that Chelsea is about. Isn't it? Listen, I heard this before, and it was a very good point. You don't measure the ability of a manager at Chelsea, because there's bigger managers that have gone there, they've tripped, they've fall, they've gone somewhere else, they've continued. Chelsea is not the place where you. The only thing is that people would then look around and say, a manager like a Graham Potter's, or the managers like Graham Potter's can't be trusted to go to the likes of Chelsea. So be it. Chelsea is just a different beast or whatever. What Graham Potter will be very, very happy is his bank balance. His bank balance, his pockets.
Nice, clean.
His pockets are clean right now. And look at his glow up as well. He was looking shabby, bro, at Brighton.
He had the mop hair, man. He went to A-Star Barbers. He said, "Line me up,
line me up." The suit,
everything, suit,
man,
the jacket.
Man was looking like John Wick on the sidelines.
Mother's life. He was looking like that guy. I said, "Yeah." Potter's glow up has been a mad thing, but
the upgrade for him on that basis is fine. In terms of him as a manager, he will be fine at a club. The job that De Zerbi's doing is off the back of Graham Potter. Let's not get it twisted. It's not like De Zerbi's gone there and it's just been a bad Brighton. He didn't pick up Brighton from the bottom of the league and anything like that. He came into a Brighton team that was doing well off the back of Graham Potter, and the Graham Potter will get another job. I could see a Graham Potter at the likes of a Leicester or Everton, these type of teams there and pushing on. So yeah, man, we'll see what happens with Graham Potter.
No, I agree with that. Just to quickly echo that, I just feel like it's true. You shouldn't measure someone's managerial career at Chelsea. I think what should happen going forward now for him, he'll be in a better position. And I feel like the jump he made from Brighton to Chelsea was too big of a jump. It was too early. I feel like he should have probably gone to a Spurs. And I feel like he should still go to a Spurs. I feel like I think a manager of his quality can go to a Spurs, but I actually believe he'll end up at Leicester. I think if he goes Leicester there, I think Leicester, it's a match made in heaven for them. They can just thrive and achieve so many things with Potter there, and get them back to a level where they believe that they should be at. No pressure, no nothing. I mean, Brendan had 4 years there. I think Brendan kind of dipped and slightly I wouldn't say underachieved. Brendan did Brendan win the FA Cup?
Yeah, he won the FA Cup.
I won't say he underachieved. I just felt like it became stale. But I believe Potter can find a bit of rejuvenation with that Leicester side. And
the only thing that I would say, just a Leicester side, I agree to a certain point, but I think like a Spurs where they are willing to spend a little bit more money than a Leicester, I think that will suit Potter better because then he will be able to get the quality that he really needs. Leicester, obviously, historically, in terms of like being former champions, trophies, it gives more a shining light than most other teams in and around the Leicester kind of level. But a Spurs would be the ideal team where you're playing in Europe, whether it be Europa or Champions League, and then also you're spending the types of money that the league is willing to spend on Jose Mourinho, on Conte. Someone like Potter would thrive on that to be able to bring in some good quality players. So yeah, man.
Right. Well, we'll put us. I was going to talk about the relegation 6 pointers, but I think we'll skip and put them into one. Leeds beat Nottingham Forest 2-1, a big win for them. So the title, that's the title race. The relegation race is looking just as crazy as ever. Funny enough, Crystal Palace won their first game and scored goals after Vieira left. So before that, when Vieira was there, apparently they couldn't score or win. Even though Mateta was the goal scorer, I'm still going to scream racism. But we move. Anyway,
Swiftly moving on.
Let's do some score predictions for the weekend. Just conscious of time. Man United open up the game and with Everton.
Oh fuck, man! Why are we fucking kicking off early, man?
Yeah, man. Hey, bro,
Fuck's sake!
You're fuming. I'm going to the stadium, and as I'm going to the stadium, I found out that there are no trains departing from Euston, so I gotta go King's Cross, get a train to Bedford, get a coach to Milton Keynes, and then get on the train from Milton Keynes to Manchester.
God.
Life is not going to be fun. But anyway, you know what? All I'm going to say is this. If Man United dare draw or lose this game after the journey I'm doing, listen, the next podcast is not going to be very child-friendly at all. Not like this one was, but the point being, the next one, I wouldn't even advise anyone 25 or younger to listen to it. It needs proper adulthood. I'm going to go first. Man United, I think, 2-1 win. Beeks?
I'm going to say 2-0.
2-0. And Dash?
1-0 United.
1-0 United. Okay, so Man United get the W for all of us. Brentford, Newcastle. Interesting game. I'm going to go 1-1 draw. Beeks?
I'm going to say... Oh, no, but Newcastle are on form. Now, I'm going to say 1-1 draw as well, you know. Yeah. I'm going to go for a draw.
Dash?
2-1 Brentford.
2-1 Brentford. Okay. Wolves, Chelsea. Lampard's first game. Again. Let's give him a new manager bounce. I'm going to try and be kind.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 3-1 Chelsea. Beeks?
Bun the bounce, bro. Saying 1-1. Fuck
that. Dash.
I was gonna say new manager bounce as well, just for the sake of it.
Go on, Dash.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with a 2-1 Chelsea.
Oh,
Yeah. If we're gonna go for a 2-1 loss,
yeah, that's all.
I think it will just fall into Lampard's lap, man. Just
I hear you.
One of them.
Look, if they're playing Wolves, they're not even been on. Yeah, you're right.
No, bro.
You're right.
Relegation 6 points are here for sure.
Oh goodness.
Leicester, Bournemouth. I'm gonna go 2-1 Bournemouth. Beaks.
Nah, you know what? I'm gonna go 1-0 Leicester.
1-0 Leicester. Dash.
2-0 Leicester.
2-0 Leicester. Okay. All right. Leeds, Crystal Palace. That's also a 6 pointer as well, actually. I'm gonna go Palace 2-1. Beaks.
Ooh.
2-2.
Dash.
3-1 Leeds.
3-1 Leeds. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Aston
I think
Villa.
These are doing their thing.
Villa, Nottingham Forest. I can't lie to you. I'm going for Villa 2-0. Beaks.
I'm saying 3-0 Villa.
3-0 Villa. Yeah. Dash.
2-1 Villa.
2-1 Villa. Okay. Fulham, West Ham.
West Ham, man.
I really want to back my locals, but boy, they're letting the team down, man.
I know.
Oh God. 1-1. You know what? No, I'm sorry. I can't do it. 2-1 Fulham. 2-1 Fulham. Beaks.
I'm gonna say 1-1.
1-1. Okay. Dash.
Same scoreline. 1-1.
1-1. David Moyes out. Tottenham, Brighton. I'm gonna go Brighton 3-1. Beaks.
Damn. 3-0 Brighton.
2-1 Brighton.
Yeah. Everyone, all of us have gone for Brighton.
Nah, Brighton are really good in London, you know. They actually really come to London.
They win well here.
They win well.
They win well, yeah.
They done Spurs last season at the Tottenham Stadium as well. So I can just I can see Brighton winning that.
Yeah. All right. Southampton, Manchester City.
Go on, Southampton.
I can't lie to you. I'm going 4-1, Man City, and the one is when Ward-Prowse just scores a free kick because that's what he does, man. Yeah, so 4-1 Man City beats.
I said 4-1. Oh man, say less, man. 5-0 City. Bro, I got a match at G. Sorry, Dash, man.
Yeah, man. It's a long weekend, boy. A long weekend for you, boy.
Seeing that you lot are putting a lot of good energy out there for City, I'm gonna go with Southampton 2-1.
All right. Hey, who knows, man? 2 Ward-Prowse free kicks. Who knows, man? It could be because Lord knows no one else is scoring for that team. Liverpool, Arsenal. You know what? I'm gonna go Arsenal 3-1.
Ooh,
Beeks.
Woo.
ooh,
Yeah. I firmly believe that as well. 3-1.
All right, based on what I've said today and how I actually think that. Do you know what? I hate both, but I'm saying 2-1 Liverpool. I'm so sorry, Dash. I'm so sorry.
so good,
Fair
man.
enough.
It's so
Fair
good.
enough. Dash.
I'm going with 3-2 Arsenal.
Yeah, of course you go back.
3-2 Arsenal. Okay, a tight one.
Yeah.
Tight one. Hey, if I
I
can
was,
say
I was
something,
very close to saying 2-2, but 3-2 Arsenal.
okay. If I can say one thing, listen, all I want in this life is for Trent and Van Dijk to continue to be dunked on so their legacy can be discussed properly. Okay? Thank you. All right. Yeah, you know what? We'll leave it there. I think that's a nice way to end the podcast. Everyone that's listening and watching, thank you for joining us. Of course, before we go, obviously, people, we know how we do over here. It's always a plug-in thing. Beeks, what are you saying? You got anything to plug or just your Twitter?
Bro, just my Twitter app, man. I don't know if I'm gonna be back on YouTube or what or not. I might be. I don't know, but my Twitter's there, innit? You get me? I don't even know how to do these things anymore. It's down there. You get me? It is what it is, but I just want to thank Kojo for having me on, and it's nice talking to Dash, man. Hey, the wrestling podcast, catch me on there, bro. I'm gonna jump on you, man.
100%, bro.
Yeah,
You're more
come
than
through.
welcome.
I've got a lot to say on that right now, man.
Yeah. So
Plug
me
you in.
too. CM Punk, remember what you said about Vince McMahon potentially leaving us on this earth? Yeah, soon come, I hope. But anyway, Dash, you got anything to plug?
Yo, first and foremost, man, thank you for having me on here. Obviously, talking football, love it as always. Yeah, man, plug in the wrestling show as you heard. Do you still watch wrestling? That's like a weekly show with myself and Kojo. You can find us on a Dash of Sports YouTube, a Dash of Sports on Instagram, Twitter. Just obviously go in there and all the links will be available for you guys. And yeah, just same as well for myself at Dash of Sports, which is just giving you all the information about hot topics and trending stories within the world of sports. That's still ongoing. Premier League reviews and previews are still ongoing as well. So come and catch me on there, man. I don't bite. Come and chat. You know, all of that. Love.
Facts. Great channel there as well. Yep, 3inMidfield podcast. If you're listening on the audios, you know where you are. Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcast. If you're watching, it's obviously YouTube, 3inMidfield podcast, or even Twitter, because we stream on there apparently. I didn't even know that even happened. And then I went on my Twitter and I saw my face on there talking. So hey, man, 3inMidfield on YouTube as well, on Twitter as well, and even TikTok and Twitch. There'll be a video up on TikTok coming up very soon this evening as well. So yeah, but yeah, love. Thank you for joining us, watching us. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. God bless. Have a lovely weekend. And yeah, bun with man.